Poland has a new president. The National Assembly has been convened, and Karol Nawrocki has been sworn in as head of state. In the plenary hall, parliamentarians and former presidents Aleksander Kwaśniewski, Bronisław Komorowski, and the outgoing Andrzej Duda with his wife. The ceremony was attended by, among others, the Apostolic Nuncio Archbishop Antonio Guido Filipazzi and the representative of the President of the United States, Kelly Loeffler. The Marshal of the Sejm, Szymon Hołownia, resisted the whispers of unspecified representatives of the December 13th coalition and acted in accordance with the law.
Dobro ojczyzny oraz pomyślność obywateli,
a dobro ojczyzny oraz pomyślność obywateli
będą dla mnie zawsze najwyższym nakazem.
Będą dla mnie zawsze najwyższym nakazem. Tak mi dopomóż Bóg.
Not all speeches by newly sworn-in presidents go down in history. Karol Nawrocki's address will certainly do so, because the president clearly stated, without any notes, that he would actively participate in political life.
Szanowny panie premierze, drodzy państwo.
Dear Prime Minister, dear ministers, I would like to cordially invite you today to a meeting of the Cabinet Council, which will take place in August. The president strongly emphasized his attachment to tradition, which has been under attack for almost 2 years, as exemplified by the actions of Minister Nowacka. I will also be the voice of those Poles who want a normal Poland, a Poland committed to its values, a Poland with good Polish schools, with Polish literature and Polish readings in Polish schools. Karol Nawrocki is a historian by education, so our history is close to his heart. The president referred to the fathers of independence, who, although they were on different sides of the political divide, were able to unite for Poland. We are here to serve Polish citizens and to serve the people. And as president, I am here for no other reason than to serve. Polish Prime Minister Tusk listened attentively to the president's words. Karol Nawrocki announced that the era of fighting democracy, which was the hallmark of the December 13th coalition, would come to an end. Today, Poland is not on the path of the rule of law. It is difficult to call a country where the legally elected national prosecutor does not work and does not function, a country governed by the rule of law. President Nawrocki will certainly not be a signatory to lawlessness, and the Prime Minister cannot be happy about that. Afterwards, the head of government went out to the journalists and put on a brave face. The only politician in the room who seemed upset and increasingly sad was Jarosław Kaczyński, and I am not surprised. There is a changing of the guard on the right. There is clearly a new leader of the right. It's hard to say at what point the leader of Law and Justice was upset. Maybe when he was applauding? But we know when Prime Minister Tusk was uncomfortable, which was almost the entire time. President Karol Nawrocki laid flowers in the Sejm, in front of the plaques commemorating the late President Lech Kaczyński and those who died during the war, as well as the victims of the Smolensk tragedy. The president found time to meet with thousands of Poles gathered in front of the Sejm. I am glad that you are here with me today, that you are with the President of Poland, and that you will be with me, as I deeply believe, for the next 5 years, because I will be your voice. Part of Karol Nawrocki's presidential inauguration was a solemn mass at the Archcathedral of St. John the Baptist. Mr. President, you will witness many blessings for the Polish nation, which will fill you, as the first among us, with a righteous sense of pride. The Polish state has existed for over 1,000 years. The symbols of its sovereignty are the insignia of the President of the Republic of Poland. During the communist era, they were kept by the government in exile. They returned to their homeland when Lech Wałęsa was president. Now Karol Nawrocki is their depositary. The Order of the White Eagle and the Order of Polonia Restituta are a kind of bridge running along the red and blue ribbon, a bridge between the First, Second, and Third Republics. After 3 p.m., Karol Nawrocki and his family officially moved into the presidential palace, where they were welcomed at the door by the outgoing presidential couple. The president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, so an integral part of the presidential inauguration is a meeting with the military at Piłsudski Square.
Czołem żołnierze!
The president laid flowers at the monuments to the unknown soldier, President Lech Kaczyński, and the victims of the Smolensk tragedy.
Nawrocki.
Poles hope that the words of the head of the state at the end of his speech
Niech Bóg błogosławi Polsce! Niech żyje Polska!
will become the motto of President Karol Nawrocki.
Czołem żołnierze!
New president, new commander-in-chief of the armed forces.
Z okazji przejęcia zwierzchnictwa nad siłami zbrojnymi przez prezydenta Rzeczypospolitej Polskiej salut armatni!
Karol Nawrocki took command of the armed forces of the Republic of Poland at Marshal Józef Piłsudski Square. A clear announcement,
Dlatego, że jesteśmy
because we are
świadomi
aware of
tego,
where we are
w jakiej
and the
symbolice
symbolism
i
of
w
this
jakim
place.
momencie i
Throughout my
miejscu
5 years in
się
office,
spotykamy,
I will call all
to
of
przez
you
całe
soldiers of
5
the
lat
Polish army, the heroes of our time, and an ambitious plan.
Zrobię wszystko, aby w najbliższych
As
latach
president of Poland, I will do everything in my power to build a Polish army of at least 300,000 soldiers in the coming years, the strongest army of the North Atlantic Alliance in Europe, not only in terms of numbers, but also in terms of modernization of the army.
powstanie specjalny
A
departament
special department of breakthrough technologies will be established to support the efforts of the Ministry of Defense and the Polish Army in developing new technologies to save and sacrifice blood and the commitment of Polish soldiers, to build deterrence potential so that we can remain free and independent, to effectively protect our borders, NATO's eastern flank, and expand alliances for peace.
Marzę, że bukaresztańska
I dream that the
dziewiątka
Bucharest
w dłuższej
Nine will in the
perspektywie
long
stanie się
term become the Bucharest 11. The president wants Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, the Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, and Bulgaria to be joined by new NATO members, Sweden and Finland.
Nie mam żadnych wątpliwości, że tak będzie.
I have no
Jeśli coś
doubt
nie
that this
zostanie
will happen.
zrealizowane, to
If
wyłącznie
something is not
dlatego, że
implemented,
będą
it will only be
mu,
because they will throw
piachy,
sand in the
tryby.
gears. However, it is quite possible because Prime Minister Donald Tusk assessed the president's first address in this way.
Ale mam nadzieję,
I hope that this sometimes rather boastful and confrontational tone will not have any practical consequences.
Mówienie prawdy
Telling the truth is not a confrontational approach. It is high time to tell the King of Europe that he is naked. Unlike Tusk, the head of the Ministry of National Defense, Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz, has a different view on the issue of security. Security issues and the importance of this topic must be emphasized. It cannot be part of a political dispute. That would be a disaster for Poland and a potentially major threat. That is why President Karol Nawrocki emphasized this during his campaign.
Polska musi twardo
Poland must firmly defend its borders and refuse to accept thousands of dangerous people from around the world. As president, I will unilaterally terminate the Migration Pact. The president speaks the language of Polish patriots from the border defense movement.
nie ma
There is no safe Poland. There are no safe citizens without a secure border, without border defense. That is why, during his address, the president reiterated once again. Plan 21 and my program say no to illegal migration. Words in politics have power. They carry weight, and citizens expect us to fulfill our commitments. I know that this is foreign to Donald Tusk, but President Nawrocki will remind him of the basic principles of political culture. This is all the more important because despite border controls, several thousand illegal migrants were transferred from Germany to Poland during Donald Tusk's term in office. A special delegation of members of the U.S. administration and personal advisors to President Donald Trump.
Witam
I welcome the
delegację
delegation of the
prezydenta
President of the
Stanów
United
Zjednoczonych
States of
Ameryki
America,
Północnej z panią
led by Ms. Kelly
Leffler na
Loeffler.
czele.
This is a clear signal that Washington attaches great importance to the political situation in Poland.
Tak mi dopomóż Bóg.
In his first speech after being sworn in, President Karol Nawrocki assured that his foreign policy would be based mainly on the transatlantic alliance.
Szanowni Państwo,
Ladies and gentlemen, I will naturally turn to our partners in the United States, support Poland's most important alliances, including the bilateral alliance with the United States, but I will also take care of Poland's position in the North Atlantic Alliance. Already as president-elect, I made an effort to establish relations with the Secretary General of NATO, but I also recognize, ladies and gentlemen, that Poland should be a leader in building the strength of the immune system of NATO's eastern flank. The Polish-American alliance was the basis of former President Andrzej Duda's policy. Karol Nawrocki, while still a candidate, repeatedly emphasized the key importance of relations with the Americans. During the election campaign, he personally spoke with Donald Trump and a number of American politicians at the White House. He wanted to send a clear signal that in the event of his candidacy, a change in the Polish presidency would not necessarily mean a change in foreign policy.
Prezydent Trump powiedział, you will win.
President Trump said, "You will win." I interpreted this as a kind of wish for my success in the upcoming elections, and also the awareness. And after this whole day, I can say this, that the American administration is aware of what is happening in Poland. The Americans have repeatedly emphasized that Karol Nawrocki is the one they get along with best. During the CPAC conference co-organized by TV Republica, the U.S. Secretary of Security admitted outright that Karol Nawrocki is the best guarantor of Poland's security.
If you had elected a leader that will work with President Donald J. Trump, the Polish people will have an ally strong that will ensure that you will be able to fight off enemies that do not share your values.
The American president followed the elections in Poland. Shortly after the results were announced, he congratulated the winner, and a few days later, he posted a meaningful message on social media. Such a great win in Poland by Karol Nawrocki. He will be a great president. He won because he truly loves the Polish people. In addition to a traditional congratulatory letter, Donald Trump sent President Nawrocki a sculpture of an American eagle. This type of gesture, which is unusual in diplomatic protocol, has symbolic meaning. According to experts on geopolitics, relations with the Americans will be crucial for Karol Nawrocki's presidency. This is not only due to mutual sympathy, but above all, to Poland's security interests.
Nie tylko wzajemne gratulacje, ale również
Not only mutual congratulations, but also specifics, especially those relevant to Poland's security, good cooperation, particularly in the areas of security, the development of the Polish arms industry, maintaining the presence of American troops in Poland for as long as possible, or more broadly on NATO's eastern flank. I think these are the fundamental goals from President Nawrocki's point of view. Symbols matter. As announced, in the coming weeks, the president is to make his first trip to Washington, D.C., with a short stop in the Vatican. Italy's government gave final approval on Wednesday, August 6th, to the construction of what will be the world's longest single-span bridge, linking Sicily to the mainland, despite environmental, financial, and other concerns that have delayed it for decades. It is exciting because the final project has never been approved with full financial backing, with the agreement of the local areas and the regions that were represented today. At this point, we can say that it will be, and not would be, the longest single-span bridge in the world. The 3.7-kilometer or 2.3-mile structure has been under discussion since at least the late 1960s as a tool to develop the impoverished south of Italy. The right-wing government of Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni made it a priority and has set aside 13.5 billion euros over the next 10 years to build it and surrounding facilities. The bridge will also be an engineering symbol of global significance, a demonstration demonstration of Italy's willpower and technical expertise, which has few equals. We believe in this infrastructure as we believe in all the infrastructure that this nation has been waiting for decades, which must form the skeleton for a nation capable of being faster and more modern. The Interministerial Committee for Economic Planning and Sustainable Development gave the final approval to the project at a meeting in Rome. According to the Messina Strait Company, the bridge will be completed in 2032. The project has faced stiff opposition from those who question the wisdom of building such a bridge in an earthquake zone. Many also fear cost overruns, possible environmental damage, and mafia infiltration in construction contracts. Some citizens groups opposed to the bridge say it is unnecessary, and environmental associations this week filed a complaint with the European Union, flagging serious risks for the local environment. However, the bridge also has strong support from those who believe a fast rail and road connection as an alternative to the current ferry crossing will provide a much-needed boost to Sicily and the rest of Italy's poorer southern regions.